first opening comment goes to the crowd here tonight. Biggest crowd of the year, 6,100 people. The difference, in the atmosphere here versus every other place in the Sun Belt, it's special. It really, truly is. And before I talk about our team in the game, I want to give a shout-out to the almost 100 men's basketball alums that came back to be a part of our Alumni Day and the Royal Rivalry, and how special that is, because I'm in this position with this unbelievable job. Our players are experiencing everything that James Madison has to offer. It's all because of those guys and what they did long before we all ever got here. So we're so appreciative of them coming back and the foundation they've laid to make this program what it is. To the game, proud of our guys. ODU's playing great right now. They did an unbelievable job against Coastal last week after we left town, and then obviously going to App and winning that game. And I thought they just won it with their toughness, to be honest with you. And so credit our guys for really responding and answering the call of just the grittiness and toughness that was going to be necessary to win a game like this, because that's what's required, especially as you get into February. But thought our guys did a great job.
Started on defense because I know how much you love talking about that.
Yeah.
Very significant edge, especially in the field goal percentages. Just what defensively, what was kind of clicking, and was there any adjustments you kind of made after playing them last week that you want to implement today?
Yeah, I do love defense. So you're speaking my love language right there. I thought we did a better job applying scout, okay, especially from a personnel standpoint, and understanding who are the guys who need to play tight, who are the guys that we've got to do a better job limiting their touches and their catches, who can you help off of. And then I thought we had a masterful performance on the defensive glass at ODU, and then we replicated that here today, only giving up 8 offensive rebounds to a team that's tops in the nation on the offensive glass. Got to give a shout-out. It wasn't just him. It was by committee, but he certainly drew the assignment of guarding Robert Davis tonight for the majority of the game was Bryce Lindsey. And, everybody loves to talk about Bryce's offense, and rightfully so, but he really told on himself here today that he can be a big-time defender for us, because, Davis only gets 12 shots off. You hold him to 10 points. That's a great, great defensive effort by Bryce and the rest of our guys who had a hand in, applying the game plan.
You mentioned that edge and rebounding, and you look at the stats. You guys had 19 second chance points compared to ODU's 6. That's nearly the margin of victory right there. Just talk about how huge that was offensively.
Yeah, it's really big, right? And I thought we generated a lot of really good shots. I thought our execution was very crisp. We shared the ball, and then guys' rebound attempts for the most part were really good, and they were looking for our teammates and shooting the ball with great confidence. They're a tough team to play against, because it's a totally different game than the one that we played on Thursday. For us offensively, and then they had some switching defenses, a couple different presses. They had some zone in there. Changed up their ball screen coverage. So our guys are really doing a great job of recognizing that. And you got to give credit to when they're on the bench. I think that's a thing that it just goes unnoticed about good teams, right? Can you be on the bench and be engaged and watch your teammates, and then be able to go in and execute and do the things that you're seeing them do or not do? And I think we're doing a better job with that.
Want to talk a little bit on the offensive side. Sorry, not your love language, I know. But
this interview's over now, right? Here we go.
Sorry to disappoint. But offensively, you guys start out pretty hot from beyond the arc, knocking down 4 threes in the first 5 or 6 minutes. And just what did you see when it came to your players' confidence levels? Because it kind of felt like from that point, then the defense started picking up even more. It just seemed like it was kind of a domino effect.
Well, I thought we were just sharing the ball. Again, I thought we did a great job, extra pass, easy play. And then a lot of those came off offensive rebounds, right? So you got to give our 3s, 4s, and 5s credit. Eddie and AJ and Will got in there, and then certainly Elijah and EB, and keeping some of those alive, and then our guards sprinting back in and shooting those with great confidence. That's where you can really kind of, I wouldn't say blow the game open, but that's where you can really, kind of enforce your will if you can come up with those second chance points like that. And then I thought we did a good job attacking in transition, right? And obviously it starts on the defensive side of the ball. If you hold a team to you hold them to 34% for the game. You give yourself an opportunity to get out and play in some transition. So I know you wanted to talk offense, but I found a way to turn that into a defensive answer for you.
No, I like that. And then just throughout this year in conference play, there's been some ups and downs, and to be able to go on a stretch like this, getting your fourth straight, just how big of a statement win is this for this team moving forward, showing what they can do?
Yeah, well, it shows great growth, right? There was a long point in time in this season with this team where we couldn't win 2 in a row, right? We couldn't win a road game, and so now here we are. You won 2 in a row on the road, and I guess it's 4 now. It means a lot, but I would say, I don't know what it means in the standings and all those things. We really try not to focus on that, but it's showing great growth from our guys, and I think our maturity is really increasing, and guys are starting to understand why we win, right? And you've heard coaches say that before, right? Winning teams know why they win. Teams that don't win, they don't really always understand it. So our guys are understanding this was what goes into winning. This is why you are winning, and let's keep it going forward.
Kind of along those lines of guys starting to understand why you win, is there maybe a point in the season where as they get to know each other, or like kind of figure themselves out a little bit, that things that maybe they were afraid to say early in the season, or not wanting to be the guy who was saying something they shouldn't,
Sure.
Do more things kind of come out when you guys start talking amongst yourselves as the season goes on?
Without a doubt, that's a great question and observation. I say it all the time. Basketball is a chemistry-driven game, right? And your connectivity is going to be evident on both sides of the ball when you're out there playing. When you have so many new players, and it takes a little bit of time, and honestly, you have to coach that, right? You have to find opportunities for guys. You have to let them know how important it is that they have a voice, but you have to help them with that voice also, right? So we're constantly, as a staff, going and grabbing a guy and saying, hey, go over there and pick him up. Tell him, hey, that was a great pass. Or, you threw a guy an open shot, or a great pass, rather, and he misses an open shot. You got to go pick him up, right? Because they don't always know instinctively how to do those things. And so you have to kind of coach them to be good teammates and learn how to serve each other. But that's something that we've given a lot of attention to.
I think, how many ended up being? Only 9 turnovers today, and a couple on Thursday. To be able to protect the ball the way you have here recently, how much has that kind of played into the results that you've gotten?
It's been a lot, and I think our just our pace of play, right? Just getting it to where we're just being more strategic in how we attack in terms of transition. So our staff's doing a really good job of keeping up with the flow of the game, right? So depends on what kind of stop you got, right? Obviously, if you get a steal, you want to push because you got numbers. If there's a long rebound, then you're going to do it. If not, and the flow of the game's gone for a few minutes, then you probably, need to be a little bit more strategic as to what does your court look like, and can you flow into something that kind of fits your team. All of those things cut down on your turnovers, right? And I think just taking more pride. We're doing such a better job of moving without the ball, right? We talk about making what we call second cuts and meeting passes and things like that. Those things really add up to limiting your turnovers.
Been keeping track of your knockouts, 3 consecutive stops defensively. Going into halftime, you made the last 5 possessions were knockouts or defensive stops, in the first one in the second half. Is that an area that you might circle and say this is a key pivotal point in a ball game when you do that late in the first half?
It is, because we were sitting here on Thursday night talking about how we did not finish the first half or start the second half very good against Coastal Carolina, right? We were up 10 with a minute or so to go, only had a 6-point lead, and then we gave the lead up, right? And so it is important. It is important that you finish the halves the right way, and that you come out and make the adjustments and come out with a great sense of urgency, especially when you're up, right? So we talk about it all the time. When you're up at halftime, especially a team like ODU, they're going to really start running on makes. They're going to get that ball in as fast as they can and try to race it before you get a chance to get your half-court defense set. And then they're going to even go even harder to the offensive glass. And so I think we did a significantly better job sprinting back, getting matched, and limiting their transition compared to what we did in the first half. And then, again, just a terrific job of finishing possessions and making sure we keep them off the offensive glass.
And I did kind of want to follow up just a little bit again about kind of with the crowd tonight. I mean, almost 7,000.
Yeah.
You can feel the presence of them. Just What difference have they been able to make when it comes to you guys kind of building momentum, and just how important is it down this final stretch, especially for a game like Wednesday, to have them at this kind of level?
I mean, it's what makes this place special. There has not been one coach who's not come in here when we shake hands before the game and say, I cannot believe this place. Not just the facility, the energy, how they're treated from a first-class standpoint, and then certainly the fans and what they bring. And so it's special, right? It's what college basketball is all about. And so we're very thankful. The student section was jumping on a Saturday, right? And there was people up top today, and it makes a huge difference. It really truly does. And so I would tell you, if you had fun coming today, bring a friend next time. 6,100 was amazing. Let's make it 7,100 next time, and let's finish out this home stretch that we have, however many home games that is. Let's win the attendance record, right? And let's see what that does for our team, because I can tell you we draw a lot of energy from the people in this building.
Coach, you've had a few starting lineup combinations throughout the season. You've held with one of the past few games with pretty good results. Is this what we're going to see for the rest?
It's a great question. That's the benefit of having multiple starters, right? That can come in and impact the game, and so we'll see. I don't know. I think it'll be a game-to-game thing, but you got to credit. X, for example, right? Brought him off the bench for the first time last week at ODU and get our first road win, and he responds masterfully with a awesome performance each of the next 3 games. And then same thing with Mark, right? Mark's been playing lights out, even though he's not, hearing his name start at the beginning of the starting lineups. And so going back to just serving your teammates, right? I think that demonstrates it at the highest level when you say, hey, doesn't matter who starts because we're all going to play and whatever's best for this team. So I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll kind of see what happens with it, but I like the guys' ability to respond whether they're starting or not.
Are you making that determination based off game play, or is that practice during the week?
Both. Yeah, it's a mixture of both, right? I think we're just always looking for consistency, and you got chances to demonstrate that in practice, and then coming off of these games, and depending on what we need, moving forward. But it's kind of a collective decision with our staff too. We spend a lot of time talking about that.
Any more questions?
All right, thank you all. Go Dukes.